Thanks very much, Jack. So the Germany coach, Jogi Löw, tonight becomes the man who has led his nation in more Euros finals games than any other manager of Germany. And Jens Lehmann, you were telling me earlier on today, he really needed to win the World Cup or they wouldn't have kept him on in the job.
Yes, that was the impression before the tournament, but then we've beaten the Brazilians 7-1 and that was a special game, so I'm not sure, but I think he was told and he knew that he had to win that one, otherwise he could have been under big pressure to actually get sacked.
Plenty of those German players who played in that 7-1 victory involved tonight, plenty who went on to win the World Cup of the Maracanã 2 years ago, but one or two notable absentees, the likes of Philipp Lahm, Per Mertesacker, Miroslav Klose, experienced men who decided to call it a day internationally at the end of the World Cup, having won it, and now some of a younger generation with a chance to step forward.
Yes, of course, we always expect somebody coming up, but we have Neuer already, then we have Khedira and Müller, and I think these three players, they're key for the German attitude to bring that through, not only on the pitch but as well in the dressing room.
In the back four for Germany tonight, Shkodran Mustafi, once of Everton, has been playing in Spain with Valencia in more recent times. He was sent off, you might remember, in that humiliating 7-0 defeat to Barcelona that contributed to Gary Neville getting the sack in Spain. But Mustafi partners Boateng, once of Manchester City, and they are the two central defenders. Mustafi, who only featured in one qualifying game on getting France to this tournament.
That tells you something about the preparation to such a game, because what happened before doesn't really count. We knew that we were qualifying, and even the preparation games, they weren't that interesting, but the guys have to show something in training, and apparently he has convinced Jogi Löw that he's a man for that position as a support for, or as a substitute for Hummels.
We are underway in Lille. This is 5 Live from the BBC at Euro 2016. We are watching the world champions in action for the first time, and the ball is hoofed forward by Boateng into the Ukraine penalty area. Mario Götze sprinted after it, but it bounces once on what must be a slightly slippy surface after the rain we've had here this afternoon, and skips out of play for a goal kick to Ukraine. Well, Germany, who lost to Poland and Republic of Ireland in the qualifiers, they've lost to England and Slovakia in recent friendlies. Well, this is where the serious business begins. It is tournament time, and that is when the Germans are traditionally at their best. Boateng allows the ball to bounce on the edge of the German penalty area, and Manuel Neuer comes and collects.
You could see that long pass going to Götze, the small difference between him and Miroslav Klose, who at the age of 36 was still very fast. And I think Götze is missing that pace a little bit because he was suffering from so many injuries, and every injury makes it a little bit slower.
That's the voice of Jens Lehmann, former German international, former Arsenal invincible, who's making his 5 Live commentary debut tonight here in Lille as Germany come attacking on the right-hand side with Hovedus, and he's still battling all the way to the byline. It's gone out of play, and it will be a goal kick. Very familiar names amongst the officials this evening. Martin Atkinson is the man in charge, the Premier League referee. He was an assistant to Howard Webb at Euro 2012. He was in charge of the 2015 Europa League final, and here he is at the European Championships. Michael Malarkey, Stephen Child, all familiar names amongst the assistants. Michael Oliver is one of those assistant referees behind the goal. Craig Paulson is another, all familiar names from refereeing in the Premier League. Yeah, Jens, you were saying to me earlier on that you think English referees are often slightly different slant when they are in charge of games in Europe than they would be domestically.
Of course, I mean, the English approach with the Premier League is different. Once David Dean has told me that they make their referees, that means that they want to have excitement, and if they whistle everything, then the excitement, particularly at the end of the game, wouldn't be as big as it is right now. And when these guys come to the European stage, they have to adapt to the European approach, and they have to obey the European rules, which are a little bit tighter than in England.
Now it's interesting, different focus from the officials depending on the competition that they are in charge of. Germany 0, Ukraine 0 here, and this is Mustafi, who just steps into his own penalty area unopposed. He's able to turn and roll it out to Jerome Boateng. And during his time at Manchester City, never really caught the eye, always looked uncomfortable, particularly when Roberto Mancini played him at right back, which is out of position. Central defence is where he wants to be. Jonas Hector back in field to Mustafi, and then Cruz will give it over the halfway line, and this is Mario Götze, and that's really good movement, and he spins away from two defenders. He's into the penalty area. Götze shoots, deflects up, sits for a moment in front of Draxler, but Draxler just can't hook it on target. It goes wide, but that's the most dangerous build-up we've seen for the Germans so far.
Mario Götze is well equipped on small spaces when he can do 1v1, and he takes out sometimes one or two men and gives others the opportunities to score from inside the box. That's what makes him really strong.
We have seen evidence of some trouble on the streets of Lille earlier on today. Pleased to report none of that in evidence here at the stadium, where it's not segregated. Fans are pretty much all mixed in amongst each other, and certainly outside the ground before the game there was a festival atmosphere with fans just enjoying themselves here in Lille, regardless of their nationality. Here's a chance of a shot from the edge of the penalty area, saved by Neuer. It was struck well. Kopenhagen didn't have time to think about that, just hit it on the half volley, and Neuer diving to his left hand side. Jens Lehmann nodded approvingly at that.
Yeah, well done, but it was an easy one at the end. If he had chosen the other corner, then it would have been difficult.
So Konoplyanka, who took that shot, saved by Neuer, he will be the man to take the corner. The Ukraine number 10, they're playing left to right as we look down. Here comes the delivery. Neuer came off his line. It was headed in front of him straight up into the air initially by Hovedus, and then Neuer is able to catch it at the second attempt. And 4.5 minutes played. It is Germany 0, Ukraine 0. But the first dangerous shot on target has come for Ukraine, and it's been tipped out for a corner by Manuel Neuer, the German captain tonight.
Yeah, that was a small detail, because the public discussed who's going to be captain for Bastian Schweinsteiger, and now Jogi opted for Manuel, whereas I think the best position for a captain is always the one of the holding midfielder. But it was Khedira supposed to be a captain, but he has decided to give the captaincy to Manuel.
Yeah, there were some eyebrows raised when Bastian Schweinsteiger was included in the squad. He hasn't started a game since January for Manchester United. Do you think it's his presence around the camp as much as anything else that Love put him in the squad for?
That's what they say. I can't really say, because when he was with us, when I was playing for the national team, we had other elderly players to do the lead. But in the World Cup, in the last World Cup, he came on quite late, and that's what actually made his presence so beneficial for the rest of the team, because he knew all the different experience inside the tournament, and so that's why they kept him again.
Kovalenko hooks the ball forward, and Neuer comes right to the edge of his penalty area to clear it away. A moment ago he came outside his box, and of course he's so comfortable doing that. There was the famous heat map, that sort of picture of the pitch where they show the areas that a player has occupied at the World Cup in 2014 against Algeria. Manuel Neuer, I think, had more touches outside his penalty area than inside of it. He was very much playing as the sweeper. Germany here with the high line, the two central defenders, Mustafi and Boateng, pushing right up to the penalty area, and Neuer, as he likes to do, comes well outside the penalty area and sits behind them.
That's a modern game. I remember when I came to England and we played like that with Arsenal, everybody declared me being mad, and 10 years later they say, wow, that's so modern now.
Imitation, the highest form of flattery. Well, 0-0 here in Lille. We have seen Jogi Löw come out. There's always very stylish attire and clothing for the German backroom staff. They enjoy polar necks and elaborate garments, and I see it's a very sort of trendy, tight-fitting t-shirt that they've gone for this particular tournament.
I mean, yeah, the boys all look good, and why shall we put them on something big? Yeah, flattery. So it's good style for Germany, but they have to show on the pitch.
Indeed. Draxler rolls the ball back behind him to Toni Kroos of Real Madrid. And here he is midway inside the Ukraine half. Picks out a good pass to Khedira on the edge of the D. Now it's played out to the right-hand side. Cross comes from the back end. Muller gets up off the ground. He was close to it, and it's just flicked away from him by Rakitsky. And maybe a chance for Ukraine now to counter-attack down the right-hand side. Yarmolenko is easily dispossessed, though. Germany get it back on the halfway line with Mesut Ozil. Gives it out to the touchline on the left-hand side. Julian Draxler back in field to Cruz, helped on by Khedira, and here is Boateng in some space on the right. Now he's trying to send one over the top. It'll need a good touch to control that, but Ozil won't be able to do so, and it floats out for a goal kick to Ukraine. And that's not the first time that Boateng has tried that ball over the top in the game. We've played 8 minutes now exactly.
Yeah, but you see that he needs to practice a little bit more, and you see that he doesn't have this rhythm he was used to have, and his balls are not that precise, but I think that will come soon.
Pep Guardiola recently departed as Bayern Munich boss, says Jerome Boateng just has it all. Thomas Muller calls him the king, and a much more composed and experienced figure than perhaps the young man that we saw at Manchester City a few seasons ago. Ukraine have won a throw-in down the right-hand side. And here in Group C, where earlier on today Northern Ireland were beaten by 1-0 by Poland. Poland topping the formative group table on the opening day of it. Germany with defending to do on the edge of the penalty area. Hector was crowded out of it somewhat, and he was fouled, and that relieves the pressure for Germany, and that will be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Neuer already coming out to take it. Other scorelines today in Paris, Turkey 0, Croatia 1. And more live football tomorrow on 5 Live. 3 more commentaries for you, starting just after lunchtime. Spain against the Czech Republic. We'll have the Republic of Ireland against Sweden. And the nighttime game tomorrow is Belgium against Italy. Here is Jonas Hector, left-hand side for Germany. Lean back as he sent it across. It was a good delivery. Cacciaridi met it just on the front edge of the 6-yard box. Here's Yarmolenko. Very composed for him to just flick it back into his own penalty area. And Ukraine do clear the ball away. But Zazulya can only get the briefest of touches on the ball. This is Draxler, very composed to get it under his spell to the right-hand side, but and to Khedira.
Yeah, but now he should move in the top spot. What he's doing right now, but that was too late. And so you can see with the Bayern Munich players, they're used to that system, but the other players, when they have to play together with them in the national team, sometimes they lack a little bit understanding, and it takes a couple of games to get that.
So you want Draxler pass the ball and move to the penalty area?
Yeah, he had to look where there's space, but he didn't look, so that's why he didn't move there.
No goals so far here on 5 Live. Great to have Jens Lehmann with us here, watching the world champions Germany, as Boateng here is backpedaling. Oh, Neuer caught in a little bit of no man's land in between the two of them. They figured it out. Neuer ran back into his penalty area, and Boateng was able to head it to him. You see, that's why they thought you were crazy when you started doing that when you came to England, Jens. Yeah. Everyone's heart's in mouths when the goalkeeper does that. Here is Khedira, 10 yards inside the Ukraine half. Tries to send it out to the right-hand side towards Muller. That's not controlled, and the linesman's flag is raised anyway on the far side. And that is going to be a free kick for Ukraine, who, almost bizarrely, this is the first time that Ukraine have qualified for a European Championship. They were automatically in, of course, in 2012 as co-hosts. This is the first time, though, that they've ever qualified through a group. And they do have Andrei Shevchenko, the former AC Milan and Chelsea striker, part of their backroom staff. He's the assistant coach, high-profile figure, does a lot of the press conferences, a little bit like how Roy Keane fills the role with the Republic of Ireland. But it's Fomenko, stern-faced former Soviet Union central defender. He's the man who's the grand fromage of this Ukrainian team. Not really often seen to smile. Stern glances out towards the pitch.
You can see his philosophy. He's defending. His team is defending really well up to now.
Cross from the right-hand side into the penalty area for Germany. Headed straight up into the air. Controlled though by Yarmolenko inside the D. His clearance is straight to Boateng, who's almost 20 yards inside the Ukraine half. So Ukraine are sitting very deep and Germany are pressing them. That's the overriding tactical view here in Lille. Space on the left-hand side for Julian Draxler. Floats it across. Muller's at the back post. Nods it down. Chance! And a scuffed opportunity. And the shot from Hector was ugly and off target. And what an opportunity for Germany. They should have taken the lead.
Yeah, he seemed to be a little bit inflexible with his right foot. Should do some more yoga there. You see, he can't get his hips right now on top of the ball.
You mentioned yoga, Jens. I do know in 2014 in Brazil, Germany brought a yoga teacher as part of their official party. Do you know if they repeated that for 2016?
Of course, but we brought him in 2004 already.
Yeah.
So it's an old guy. It's a familiar face.
And he needs to get working on that right hamstring of Jonas Hector, who must have wished that fell on his left boot. His left back in the penalty area, chance to volley on his right, and he scuffed it ugly and wide. But here come Germany again. This is Götze, controls in the penalty area. Good defending by Ratajski initially to just shield him away from a shot, to force him to take an extra touch. Ukraine are grateful to clear the ball away. But after that early chance and the shot from Konoplyanka, which was saved out for a corner by Manuel Neuer, ever since then it's been all Germany.
And as I used to call it, a slow death for the opponents.
Yes.
I think the Ukrainian, they're waiting to concede.
Another cross from the right hand side is from Thomas Muller.
Really releasing themselves from the pressure.
Yeah, death by 1,000 cuts at the moment from Germany. Kaczoridi. Ukraine just need to calm things down a little bit now. Get the game played at their tempo. Pyatov is the goalkeeper. Gives it short to Rakitsky, one of the two central defenders. He hoofs it away upfield where Kovalenko will control well. That wasn't easy to take on the chest, but he does well, the number 9. Support outside him on the left from Konoplyanka, but they're not exactly throwing bodies forward as he does good work down the left-hand side and wins the throw-in. Even if he did produce a cross there, Jens, there's only one man in the middle. They're not taking risks, Ukraine.
And they don't trust each other.
Right.
If one is going forward, the other think, well, you won't make it anyway, so better stay behind.
So
but success. They got a throw in.
They don't score many, but they certainly don't concede many, and that has been the source of their success so far, Ukraine, in getting to this tournament. Konoplyanka caught in a tight position down by the corner flag. He won't produce a cross there. It's gone out of play, and that is a goal kick to Germany and to their captain Manuel Neuer, away to our right hand side. He's wearing a black shirt, all of his outfield teammates wearing white, and Ukraine this evening all in yellow. Here is Mustafi, once of Everton, recently linked with a move back to Merseyside and to join Liverpool. And here on the halfway line is Toni Kroos, who powers a ball forward, but that's way too far in front of Mario Götze, and it harmlessly goes out for a goal kick. Götze, though, did turn and give a little wave of acknowledgement to say, OK, that was the right idea, maybe I should have been on to the end of that.
You see that quite seldom, Toni Kroos playing a bad pass. I think he has the best passing statistic, even for Real Madrid. That's what's making him really special.
Yeah, very good passing stats always, Toni Kroos. He's up there at the top of those league tables all the time. And so here is Draxler, and he looks like he's fouled on the halfway line. And it's Mesut Ozil. That will be a free kick to Germany, and Hector will come across to take it. Rolls it back to Mustafi immediately. Germany 0, Ukraine 0 here in Lille at Euro 2016. Boateng, better ball to the right hand side to Hovedus, who's gone deep into Ukraine territory, helped out by Thomas Muller. All those goals that Thomas Muller has scored at World Cups, he's never got one yet at a European Championship. Surely that's going to change. He's on the ball at the moment, 15 yards outside the penalty area, gives it to the right hand side. Return ball doesn't come to him though from Hovedus. It's intercepted by Konoplyanka, and that will be a throw into Germany. Jens Lehmann.
Technically, Thomas Müller is supposed to play on the right side, but he always tends to go in the box, and somehow he manages always to be there when there's danger. That's
right place at the right time, yeah. Here to clear away at the back is Sidorchuk, but they've been rather calm and relaxed about it as they dribble into their own penalty area, the Ukrainians, and then eventually the goalkeeper Pyatov clears it away, controlled by Zazulya, and then a foul on Yarmolenko, and that will be a free kick to Ukraine just inside their own half, and a few boos and jeers. I think they're coming from both sets of supporters. The German supporters thinking it shouldn't have been a free kick, and the Ukraine supporters who were booing and jeering the foul. Good run has been made here by the right back, Fedetsky. He's got into space on the right hand side and picked out cleverly by the free kick, but good defending by Hector, who just touches it back to the goalkeeper Neuer. Neuer happy that wouldn't be interpreted as an intentional back pass, and he was comfortable to pick it up.
That's where opponents can exploit weaknesses from the German team. On the left side there is Draxler and Hector. I think they didn't play together before, and Draxler is defensively not really well trained, so he always tends to not dropping off early enough. And on the other side it's Hovedus with Müller. I think they didn't play together before as well.
That's the voice of Jens Lehmann, former Arsenal goalkeeper, with us here in Lille. No goals yet between Germany and Ukraine with 17 minutes on the clock. Jonas Hector, very much a late starter in the game. He was 19, he was doing a degree, he was playing for a regional team in the 5th tier of German football, and then he began what I guess we'll nowadays call a Jamie Vardy style rise through the leagues. I mean, 2 years ago when Germany were winning the World Cup. He hadn't even played in the Bundesliga at that stage, and here he is now starting for the world champions at Euro 2016. He's another German who's been linked by Liverpool. I guess when you get a German manager, that's what happens. A lot of German players get linked. Here's Thomas Muller, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Referee Martin Atkinson says that's a foul. Free kick. It's wide on the right hand side, not a million miles away from the sort of angle that Gareth Bale scored for Wales yesterday. Maybe just a little bit too far to the right hand side. Jens Lehmann.
Well, it's going to be a delivery inside the box from Tony Kroos, but we are missing Hummels there because he's really good with his head. Boateng is not even going forward, so I'm doubting somebody to score from that.
So, set piece for Germany, attacking position on the right hand side. No surprise that the uber defensive Ukrainians have brought all 11 men back behind the ball. Mesut Ozil is standing over this, so too Toni Kroos. Looks like it.
Boateng comes late in.
Yes, Boateng arriving into the penalty area. And nervous moments these for Ukraine. It is Toni Kroos. It's a good delivery and it's headed in. Shogdan Mustafi. It's his first ever international goal. The former Everton man has put Germany in front inside 19 minutes. Toni Kroos with a pinpoint accurate delivery.
What a delivery.
And the defender finished it off.
Yeah, fantastic goal. I didn't expect him to score, but you see I was wrong.
Mustafi, dominant header there, powered it from close range, walloped in off his forehead. Just a one-step run-up from Toni Kroos, one of the best players in the world in doing that. And it is laid on a plate for Mustafi, the Valencia man. First time he's celebrated a goal for his country. Not a bad stage. Right to the top corner, and Germany lead Ukraine 1-0.
Yeah, well deserved. I mean, it was a fantastic delivery, and Mustafi put all into it what he had. I think he's not the tallest one, but his jump was good. And now we will see what the Ukrainians are up to.
Yes, I wonder if this will smoke out Ukraine. They've been sitting deep, they've been defending, now they find themselves behind. There's a long way to go in this game, but Ukraine are going to have to come out and attack Germany now. It should make for an exciting game. Free kick here, played up to Zazulya. He helps it back to Kovalenko on the edge of the penalty area, but all they can do is send it high into the penalty area. Very easy take for Manuel Neuer. So Germany lead 1-0 here. Early in the game, it'll relax any nerves. Not that there was any evidence of nerves from the world champions.
The games always start with the same rhythm and in the same pattern. Sometimes the opponents try to do some good attacks, but then after a couple of minutes, the German dominance in possession keep them in the defense, the opponents. And what I said before, if it's for a set piece or for a good combination, sooner or later they will concede the way they're playing.
Muller here on the edge of the penalty area, passes it back to Mesut Ozil, tries a direct low pass, looking for the feet of Mario Götze. It's intercepted, and Ukraine clear it long into the German half. There's nobody up there. Zazulya, the nearest player, he's 30 yards behind. They continue to sit extremely deep to Ukraine here in Lille. Here is Hector on the left-hand side. Tries to cut back a ball for Draxler. It's behind Draxler. Again, as Jens Lehmann was talking about earlier, Muller and Draxler, they're the wingers, but they both like to go into very central positions. Here is Boateng on the halfway line, passing to the goal scorer, Mustafi. Only featured in one qualifying match for Germany. That was the 4-0 win against Gibraltar, but he has scored the important goal here to put Germany in front at the finals. Here is Khedira with the yellow boots on the right-hand side. He's just won his third title in a third different country. He's won the Bundesliga, he's won La Liga, and now this season winning Serie A in Italy with Juventus. Here is Mesut Ozil onto Muller, Thomas Muller, the Bayern Munich man. Khedira back into Ozil once again, and this could be a long game now for Ukraine, because Germany are just passing it around at will, and Ukraine at the moment finding it so difficult to get a touch.
I mean, the way they're defending with 5 or 6 on the defensive line is just too much. They can't release the pressure, and that's why they're still suffering from too much possession from the German team.
It's a lovely ball by Kroos out to Havertz on the right hand side. He tries to send in the early cross and it's put out by Rakicki, and that goes for a throw into Germany. Let's go to the Grand Prix commentary right now in Sports Extra. Here's the latest from Jack Nicholls.
Lap 62 of 70 here. We are not long to go, and Lewis Hamilton is continuing to lead the Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari was closing in, but over the last couple of laps his pace has dropped off, and it looks as though if Hamilton can get through the last 8 laps he's going to take victory and close the championship advantage to his teammate Nico Rosberg.
Shot by Kroos is deflected out for a German corner on the right hand side. Midway through the first half, Jens Lehmann, everything going very well for Germany so far.
I have to say that was a little bit expected, and the Ukrainians didn't do us a favor to play a little bit more offensive. Probably they could have tried to get their luck playing a more attacking style. They didn't do so far. They have to come out in the second half with a different tactic. We will see. But so far they have to manage not to concede another one, because it looks like
4 minutes since the goal. It came from a Kroos set piece. Here's another one, this time a corner into the penalty area. Pyatov punches it away. Götze was lurking on the edge of the penalty area, tried to send it back in. I think the referee's whistle had been blown anyway for a foul on Pyatov, and he is down inside the 6-yard box. It'll be a free kick to Ukraine.
In England, I think you wouldn't have whistled that.
Well, it's the man who scored the goal, Mustafi, who came charging in on him. There was a suggestion, yes, did you watch the opening game, the France-Romania game?
Yes.
That the goal that Olivier Giroud scored, that he might have elbowed, not in a nasty way elbowed the goalkeeper, but elbowed his arm as the goalkeeper came to try and catch the ball.
It was a foul, but the goalkeeper has done badly, because he should have taken the ball at a higher point, and he was so comfortable of catching it, but then probably got the touch on his elbow, which was a benefit for Giroud in scoring, but it was a foul.
So in your view, you think the goal should not have been given?
It was a very tight situation. I mean, he touched his elbow, the goalkeeper's elbow, before he actually scored, so it was a foul, yeah.
Well, we've had a few moments in this tournament so far that goalkeepers won't want to see again. We saw that Modric goal, which was a lovely strike earlier on, as Ukraine here win a free kick down the left-hand side. The man who's appealing his innocence is Benedikt Höwedes, but a free kick has been awarded to Ukraine.
Höwedes was a very important player for us in the World Cup, because he was the only player who all of a sudden played as a left back, and he never played there before, but became a world champion in playing that position.
So free kick to Ukraine. A lot of Ukrainian supporters behind that goal. They've got yellow and blue and white balloons, and they're waving them in the air. And you feel they've got to make this sort of opportunity count. They won't get many situations like this. 7 or 8 yards outside the penalty area, wide on the left-hand side, and the free kick comes in. That's a good trajectory. Thomas Muller back helping out the defence, flicks it up into the air, and that goes out for a corner. Good defending by Muller. Corner to Ukraine with 25 minutes played. It's still Germany 1, Ukraine 0. Jens Lehmann.
Very, very good clearance from Thomas Müller. I mean, behind him there were 3 or 4 yellow guys. That would have been a goal.
Thomas Muller, who's come into this tournament off the back of his most prolific season for Bayern Munich. He scored 32 goals during the campaign. Time now for a corner, which will be taken by Konoplyanka on the right hand side. Goalkeeper came. Oh, Neuer reacted very well to save. He's put it over the crossbar again. Ukraine coming so close. Neuer, who initially stepped off his line, then knew he wasn't going to get there, so he ran back again.
Yeah,
and it's Khachadiri with the header, and he's, well, Lehmann reckons lucky.
Yeah, he was a little bit lucky, because he recovered and still got the ball into his area. I think his starting position sometimes is not the best one, and that's why he always has to recover. But now we see the difference between former days when we played a man-marking spatial.
Here comes the corner, played in from the far side. Zozulia jumped up and allowed it go through his legs, but that didn't deceive the Germans. Ukraine get it back again. Chance across on the left-hand side. Boateng stretches in the penalty area, gets a touch, but Ukraine are quick to pick up possession. This is the best spell that they've had in the game. Rakicki to the near touchline to Yarmolenko. Gives it back again to Rakicki, and then he'll pile it high towards the edge of the German penalty area. Flag is raised just as Kovalenko thought he might have been in with a chance to shoot. The German defence was organised, and Ukraine have been caught offside.
Here you see sometimes the differences. They're not really certain if they shall play a man marking on set pieces or an area marking, and it gives a striker always the advantage if he can run up to ahead of the defender, that he can jump higher.
So the goal from Mustafi, the former Everton defender, has Germany 1-0 up here in Lille. The goal came after 19 minutes. And here is Kroos, whose free kick laid it on a plate for the defender. Passing to Khedira. Germany move into the Ukraine half once again. Ukraine had a few chances there, and Neuer backpedaling, very fortunate to make a save. It could have been 1-1. Here is Julian Draxler, little step over and a surge into the penalty area now. Defender tugging his jersey, pulling him back, but the referee says no infringement. It will, however, be a corner to Germany.
I think it was off before, but the referee could really see from his position.
So Kroos comes across to place the ball for the corner.
Yeah, it was off.
And we reckon the ball had actually gone out of play before the defender touched it there. So if Germany to score from this, it could be very controversial. Short run up again from Kroos. Good delivery. Free header at the front post though. Cacciarini getting it away. This is Draxler. Some 15 yards outside the penalty area. Now that's a mistake. He's allowed Kovalenko to get onto the ball. Counter-attacking opportunity though,
well
immediately
recovered.
snuffed out by Mustafi. Good recovery from Germany. And now the ball is played by Kroos over the top. Khedira's in, he's onside. Good save. Excellent save by Payetov. Khedira did everything right. The goalkeeper denies Germany a second.
Unfortunately, I mean, he really touched it well and had the goalkeeper in front of him, but the goalkeeper stood long and so made the goal small. That's why it made it difficult for Khedira to score.
Well, it was saved by the goalkeeper, and one of the Ukraine defenders did very well to hook it away to make sure no other German attacker was going to be able to follow up and help themselves to an empty net. Here is Kroos, dinks it into the penalty area. It's overcooked though, and in front of Thomas Muller, and it remains Germany 1, Ukraine 0. It's been a good game here so far. We're approaching the half-hour mark. We've had chances at both ends, but it's Mustafi who has scored the goal that separates the teams.
So far we've seen plenty of entertaining games. Even the starting game between France and Romania was very exciting. Normally you don't see that at the beginning of a tournament because every team tries to find its rhythm. But this time here the teams all go.
Here come Ukraine down the right hand side. Yarmolenko sends in a good dangerous cross, but Boateng was well positioned in the 6-yard box and he clears it away. Sorry, Jens.
No. We got a corner against us. We have to comment on that one now.
So corner to Ukraine on the right hand side. Half an hour played here in Lille. A lot of Ukraine supporters behind that goal, and they are not letting their spirits be dampened by being 1-0 down. It is Konoplyanka who'll take the corner. The number 10 just leaned back as he hit it. Oh, good delivery, but it's Thomas Muller again who heads it away. Then a chance of a shot comes cannoned in from the left bank.
You should have played the long ball. Sorry, Neuer. He could have played the long ball onto Götze because he was starting and was ahead of the Ukrainian defender.
I'm enjoying how the instincts are still in Jens Lehmann when he sees the goal kick and he's looking, who would I kick it to if I was playing?
Keeps the ball away from the own goal.
Exactly, indeed.
And you English, you love long balls.
Well, I'm Irish, but I especially love long balls.
You're British.
I'm not. Oh dear, no.
Still
Jens,
part of the British Union.
No. We need to talk. We'll have a good chat about that at halftime. We'll explain all of that. But no, the Jack Charlton Republic of Ireland glory days, that was very much long ball football. We extremely enjoyed that. Here is Jerome Boateng on the centre circle periphery. Inside the Ukraine half, gives it to Toni Kroos, on now to Mesut Ozil, short little pass to Hector, and Germany win a corner. And they're just slicing through Ukraine at the moment like a knife through butter. 1-0 Germany lead.
Yeah, that's what they like to do. They're always looking for interfaces, and players come out of the position. The defenders don't really follow them, and then they can take the ball and play on from there.
Germany take the quickly taken corner. Back to Draxler, sends it in deep. And it's headed out by Rakitsky and out for another corner to Germany, this time on the right-hand side. Well, if Ukraine's game plan is set up around sitting deep and defending, they're going to get ample opportunity to do that tonight because Germany just keep coming at them.
I don't see any Ukrainian courage so far.
No, that is true. Here's the corner from the far side and hooked away by Yarmolenko. Straight to Draxler. Bit of time to look up. tries to float one into the penalty area and headed away by Kovalenko. And is that going to go out of play on the far side? It is. That will be a throw into Germany, and they will remain inside the Ukraine half. So at the moment, with Poland having beaten Northern Ireland 1-0 earlier on this afternoon, that was in Nice, Northern Ireland's first match at a major championship for 30 years. Germany 1-0 up here, so at the moment they share the top of this group with Poland. Another goal here though, and a bigger win than 1-0 would leave Germany top of the group tonight. Still a long way to go, of course, an hour of normal time to play, but as Jens Lehmann's been saying, Ukraine not showing an awful lot of courage, not showing an awful lot of desire to come forward and try to score.
Even when they try to pressurize Germany, the defenders, they don't come out. So after a couple of minutes, the attackers, they don't even try to pressurize.
No, the fullbacks have not been over the halfway line in the game so far. Here is Jerome Boateng, gives it short to Mesut Ozil, helped on by Sami Khedira. The header by Kovalenko only briefly has possession for Ukraine, because Khedira picks it up again and switches play to the left hand side. This is Julian Draxler with the white boots, rolls it low for Kroos, slips as he sends a pass into the penalty area, and it won't pick out its intended target of Hovedus, who might be out of position here, but Ukraine have only got one man in their opponent's half. Zoziolia will run across the pitch, he won't keep it in play, and that is a throw into Germany in the left full back position.
So Zulia seems to be a little bit lost there. He always tries and try to get the ball or pressurize, but nobody supports him.
Here is Draxler.
Going to be a long evening for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a long evening for a few of those Ukraine players. 1-0 on the scoreboard, but Germany very much dominating matters. 1-0 to the world champions here. 11 minutes to half-time. Closing stages now of the Grand Prix on 5 Live. Here is Jack Nicholls.
The checkered flag is ready as Lewis Hamilton comes past to take victory in Canada. Another fantastic performance from Hamilton to win the race. Sebastian Vettel finishes second for Ferrari. Nico Rosberg, the championship leader, spun on the final lap as he tried to get past Max Verstappen, and as a result he finishes down in fifth. Hamilton, Vettel, Bottas the top three. Hamilton closes the lead at the top of the championship now to Rosberg to just 9 points, Connor.
Thank you very much, Jack. Here in Lille, Germany leading Ukraine by 1-0 at Euro 2016. Here is Toni Kroos, whose free kick set up the opening goal. Backpedaling here, Mesut Ozil receiving the ball right hand side of the midfield, happy to just give it back to Boateng. Boateng now switches it all the way over to the left hand side, and Ukraine really, they've just been dragged around the place like a rag doll here. Germany switching the play right to left, back again, and eventually the ball goes out for a goal kick, and it remains 1-0 to Germany. Mustafi's goal.
Germany's not even challenged. The Ukrainians don't even try to get into battles. That makes the game a little bit one-sided. I think they should try to get a little bit more out of it, the Ukrainians, when they come out for the second half. And the way they're playing right now wouldn't give them even confidence for the next game. So they're sitting too deep. They're passing only in their own half as long as the Germans let them pass. Now back to the goalkeeper, and he doesn't even try to play a good ball, nearly missed it. So there's no courage, as I said before, and no bravery. I don't see them really scoring and becoming dangerous.
Again, another long ball played forward. Boateng's not dealt with this very well, mind you. Kovalenko might have an opportunity here. 7 yards outside the penalty area. Passes to Yarmolenko now. He's got a trick about him. 2 defenders, though, as he steps into the penalty area. Floats into the back post. What a chance, must be! And saved on the line by Boateng.
No, it wasn't a goal.
I don't think it went over the line. Jerome Boateng with legs like an octopus there as he just spiraled out his boots to clear the ball away, and Ukraine will not come closer than that without scoring. Superb vision by Yarmolenko to send it to the far side. Was it Kovalenko who hit it? Goalkeeper beaten. Jerome Boateng saves on the line.
That's one of the weaknesses of the Germans. They don't communicate really well. Normally a Ukrainian player should never show up completely by himself, just 5 or 6 yards in front of the goal.
Well, we've just been praising the German attack. I think Ukraine did very well on that occasion, and arguably it should be 1-1. What an opportunity for Ukraine, and saved on the line by Jerome Boateng, the only German to play in every minute of the qualifying campaign, and he's had such an important touch there, keeping Germany 1-0 in front. Now the ball goes out right down by the corner flag. It hits the corner flag, And the assistants have a decision to make. Is that a throw or a corner? They say corner. Corner to Ukraine on the right-hand side. And here with 6-7 minutes to go until half-time, you feel Ukraine will want to make an impact. Some activity down around the technical areas, but there's no corner flag. That's been removed, so surely that's going to have to be put back in place before this set piece can be taken. Maybe they've broken it, actually. I think that's why they were looking to the dugouts. Yes, it's the first substitution of the game. Going off is the broken corner flag, and coming on is a bright, shiny new one. You see, this is why West Ham in their new stadium, they made sure they didn't have to pay for the corner flags. They can be costly when you have to replace them.
How many spare ones do they have?
Yeah, we're running out of them. Here is going to play Anka. Decent delivery at the back post. Kovalenko can only chest it back. Maybe a chance to cross, though. Back onto his right foot. Sends in the cross in front of Neuer. It's in, but offside. Well, it was the fullback, Fedetsky, who put it in the net. But the linesman's flag is raised. And Germany somewhat living on dangerous territory at the moment here. They have had Boateng clear off the line. They have had the ball in the back of their own net. And the linesman has dug them out there. We're just getting to see an action replay. It's the right decision. He was offside.
He was offside, yeah. But to be honest, I think they are sniffing their chances, the Ukrainians. Since I've criticized them for being too passive, they come forward. They're
listening to you on 5 Live, Jens. They could. They said, right, we'll show him.
For the sake of the game, I should do that more often.
Yes, yeah. Anyone else you want to criticize, and they might score.
Only the English referee.
That's Jens Lehmann, former German international, watching Die Mannschaft in their opening game of Euro 2016. Can they repeat what France did between the 98 World Cup and Euro 2000, what Spain did between the 2010 World Cup and Euro 2012? Can they follow up a World Cup win by winning the Euros 2 years later? Germany starting well here with a 1-0 lead, but they've had a couple of scares in this first half as well. Now here's Mesut Ozil winning the ball off Yarmolenko, breaking into Ukraine territory. Attempted first time ball by Muller, was intended for Götze. That's been intercepted. This is Draxler on the left hand side. There's no one picking up Ozil here on the edge of the penalty area. He had all day to pick out his cross, sends it in. Rakitsky is able to head it away, but only as far as Hovenus. Back into the mix. Götze jumps up, but he won't beat the punching goalkeeper Payetov. Draxler then picks it up in towards Muller on the back post. Oh, it hit him rather than the other way round. Really good cross on the left hand side. Thomas Muller, normally so reliable in the air, and he just couldn't get his reactions right to direct it to goal.
Ball was a little bit too long. I think he can't jump really high, so missed it just a little bit, unfortunately, because now the Ukrainians, they feel that there is a chance and they should score now.
Just have a look at it. You see, he raises his leg and it hits him on the head, and I think there's a classic, do I head it, do I kick it, do I head it, and then he ends up doing sort of a hybrid of the two.
But he has scored so many goals in that way that he didn't really knew afterwards how he touched the ball. He's flexible, I can tell.
He's done his yoga, we've discussed it.
Probably.
32 international goals for Thomas Muller. He has scored 10 at World Cups. He's not scored at the Euros yet, and that was an opportunity. Right, here come Ukraine. Kovalenko, the left back, beginning to come forward now into the penalty area, tracked all the way by guess who? Thomas Muller tracked him back into the penalty area, and he puts it out on the far side for a corner to Ukraine. Well, I don't think Kovalenko had come forward once in that first sort of quarter of the game. Now suddenly he's storming on like a winger, and Ukraine actually look like they might want to score a goal in this game. 4 minutes to the break.
They're moving better, the Ukrainians. So there's more movement in front, and
throw it into the penalty area, helped on by Stepanenko towards the far post, and that will go for a corner. They've been reawoken, have the Ukrainians, and suddenly they're making chances.
Yes, as I said, the Germans are look a little bit unsecure in defending, and Ozil, Draxler and even Müller, they don't really cover their defenders, so that makes it quite easy for the Ukrainians to go forward now.
5 Live from the BBC. Time running out at the end of the first half. Germany leading 1-0. Kopenhagen, whose deliveries have been good up until now, sends in a deep corner, towards the back post. Well, Yarmolenko, it came through to him. I think he was convinced it wasn't going to, that someone would get a touch on the way through, and he wasn't expecting it. And in the end, he can't keep it in play, but it goes out for a throw into Ukraine. And having brought players forward for that corner, they're now remaining on the attack. And Ukraine threatening to play some entertaining football. Rakitsky back to the left-hand side.
What they're doing now.
Definitely. Here's Yarmolenko. sends a stretching ball. He's a classy player into the penalty area. Veditsky, the other fullback, had come forward. Now it's controlled by Stepanenko in midfield. Oh, a little nutmeg there on Thomas Muller. That's very good. And again, 2 in a row from Sidorchuk. And this is excellent play. Now he does a little Cruyff turn. And a third. Oh, my word. 3 nutmegs. Sends it a good cross.
They're not carrying their right corner.
At the back post, and he shoots, and it goes over the crossbar. Well, suddenly, the team who were supposed to be dour and defensive-minded, they've become the entertainers. Sidorchuk has just done 3 nutmegs in a row on the world champions.
Was that a world record?
Well, you know, okay, tell me this though, Jens, right? Because you've been in the dressing room with these German players. If you do that to Germany, the next time there's a 50-50 ball, are you reminded that you're not allowed to do that to Germany? Is someone now going to get stuck in on a tackle on him?
Well, you're allowed to do that, but there should be a good outcome, a success.
Yes.
And as long as you're doing it without any benefit, you will be told off.
Well, I'm not sure what sort of media they'll have in the future. It'll be DVDs or discs or some sort of fancy virtual reality. But the grandchildren of Serhij Sidorchuk are going to be shown that video of those few seconds on repeat throughout their lives, because that was very, very special. But 1-0 to Germany remains the scoreline. A definite improvement from Ukraine as this first half has continued. And maybe if this game was still 0-0, Germany might be asking a few questions, but the world champions do have the lead.
But the organization seems to fade away a little bit within the German team. The Ukrainians sniff that they can attack successfully on their left flank. There's no good coverage between Müller and Hövedes.
Kovalenko forward on the left-hand side to take a throw-in towards Stepanenko. And then he's hooked it a bit awkwardly back inside his own half, so Rakitsky must sprint back and recover. And then he sends a long searching ball. Look at this, there's no one home on the right hand side for Germany. Ukraine into the penalty area. It's not a good cross, it's low and it's cleared away by Boateng. But I didn't think I'd be saying this, Jens Lehmann. Germany need to sort themselves out in defence, or Ukraine are going to score.
Yes, of course. As I said before, they need to have organization. But sometimes that is a weakness of the teams nowadays, because nobody tries to put themselves or others under pressure by telling them off. That's a new generation. Sometimes they are lacking a little bit of hierarchy and some speeches which are necessary to get everybody on track again.
Here comes the corner as we go into stoppage time. Manuel Neuer comes and gathers under pressure, falls to the ground but holds the ball. And when they needed their captain to show some rigid behaviour in the 6-yard box, well, Neuer was able to do it, and very solid. Just the 1 minute being added on for stoppages at the end of a first half in which Germany certainly dominated the opening spells. They got their goal, but then as soon as they just relaxed a little bit and invited Ukraine onto them, well, Ukraine have accepted that invitation and have come forward and have been very close to scoring themselves. Ball cleared away at the back by Rakitsky, long into the German half. Mustafi, who scored the goal, heads it away for Germany. Now here is Draxler. Has this been a wake-up call for the world champions?
What I'm curious about is if that is down to fatigue or just a phase in the game where the Ukrainians pressurize a little bit more. We will see that in the second half, because the Germans all of a sudden don't look fresh again.
But how could that be the case in the opening game of the tournament?
After 40 minutes.
Right.
Normally not possible. But
no.
We'll be watching it closely in the second half.
Free kick to Germany, 10 yards outside the penalty area, left-hand side. They scored from a position on the mirror image side of the pitch for this earlier on. Toni Kroos stands over it, no one else, it's going to be him. Ukrainian defence all bunched in a 10-yard space along the edge of the penalty area. Not the best delivery this time from Kroos. Khedira, though, nods it back to Boateng. Chance for him to scoop it into the penalty area. Good defending back there by Stepanenko. And there is the whistle from Martin Atkinson to bring the first half to a close. Well, that's been an enjoyable 45 minutes of football. The former Everton man, Shokran Mustafi, scoring the goal with a powerful header. But Jerome Boateng had to clear off the line. And Ukraine have shown plenty of evidence, Jens Lehmann, that they have something in them and they could trouble Germany in the second half.
The German transition game is not that best, and I think they have to work a little bit on it. We will see in the second half if they can cope with it or if they can actually change the rhythm again.
They've all been close games so far at Euro 2016, and no difference here in Lille. The teams make their way down the tunnel. At half-time, it's Germany 1, Ukraine 0. Thank you very much, Kelly. About to get back underway for the second half. No changes in personnel, but I think this is just simmering away nicely, and this could be a very interesting second half of football. Germany started well. They scored. They went 1-0 up. But Ukraine, Jens Lehmann, I think it's fair to say we're finishing that second half stronger as we get back underway for the second period.
On a high, as you said. And I hope that they will test us a little bit more, because we need that to play a good tournament. First of all, let me apologize to all the Irish, because I thought they are British. So for redemption, I will go to an Irish pub on the 17th of March.
That'll be your penance, will it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's a tough life. You know, we've straightened all that out over half-time. Here come Germany on the attack. Early stages of the second half. Cross from the left-hand side by Götze. Plenty of defenders back in the penalty area for Ukraine, and a chance to clear away now through midfield as well. But Germany looking dangerous with Götze down that left-hand side in the early stages of the second half. The German team, Neuer in goal. Back four of Hovedas, Boateng, Mustafi and Hector. In the middle of the midfield is Khedira and Kroos, with Müller and Draxler on the flanks, and Mesut Ozil in effectively the number 10 role, sitting in behind Mario Götze. But of course it's a very fluid attacking midfield for Germany, a lot of interchanging of those positions. The Ukraine team with Pyatov in goal, a back four of Fedetsky, Kaczoridi, Rakitsky and Kovalenko. Similar formation with two holding midfielders, three attacking midfielders. I'll give it to you in just a moment, because here comes Konoplyanka on the left-hand side, trying to give it out to the fullback Kovalenko, and then a challenge goes in on Hovedas, and that will be a free kick to Germany. So Sidorchuk and Stepanenko are the two holding midfielders. Yarmolenko is wide on the right-hand side, Kovalenko in the middle, Konoplyanka on the left, and Zazulya is the striker up front, who's really had to just feed off the scraps so far. But if you're joining our coverage later, maybe you're just tuning in for the second half. The goal scored by Mustafi, but Ukraine twice extremely close to an equaliser, the closest of them all when Jerome Boateng had to clear off his own line, and it was a matter of millimetres that it stayed out. Here is Boateng on the ball, plays it forward, looking for Mario Götze. That's a crunching challenge from Götze. Oh, he's done so well to keep that moving. Now he gives it to Ozil, who dummied a shot, tried to play a pass, and that was intercepted. But Ukraine are struggling to hold on to the ball here. Germany starting the second half the way they started the first half. Hovedas turns, gives it back to Jerome Boateng. Heavy touch on the halfway line. Then he sends an excellent crossfield ball. Mesut Ozil had stayed out there. This is hit by Draxler and tipped away. Good save by the goalkeeper Pyatov, and it goes out down by the corner flag for a throw. Jens Lehmann.
The game seems to have phases. Now the Germans' phases come in again for attacking football. The Ukrainians wait again. But I expect the Ukrainians coming forward again, so that the Germans will leave them some space to try to exploit their weaknesses. So it's going to be another exciting second half here.
Throw in by Hovedas, reaches its way through to Götze, but then on the penalty spot, Fedetsky is there, and he is able to clear it away. We've just seen an excellent action replay from behind the goal of that shot by Julian Draxler. He hit it straight and true. That was heading inside the post before the goalkeeper Pyatov was able to just lunge out and make the save. Here come Germany, playing from left to right in this second half. Level with the corner angle of the penalty area is Götze. Plays it in front of Hector. He's easily shrugged off the ball by the big burly defender Kaczoridi. Ukraine, who often like to do this, they sort of try to play their way out of the penalty area, and eventually Fedetsky says, right, enough about that, and just clears it out for a throw.
The Ukrainians seem to take on Hector now a little bit better, because they sniffed that he's not such a threat going forward. He's a very good and solid defender, but he's not tricky enough and speedy enough to go past them. And on the other side, Hovedas, who just came into the game after having played only the last 4 or 5 games for Schalke, is having the same problems. And it's going to be very exciting if Jogi Löw will change these positions.
1-0 Germany lead. We saw earlier on that excellent goal from Luka Modric. What have you made of the goalkeeping in the tournament so far, Jens? I mean, sometimes they say it's a new ball and it's difficult to see the flight of it. What have you made of the opening weekend?
I think ball-wise you can't expect any surprises anymore, because they're all used to these balls and they don't differ from tournament to tournament. There was a big development probably 5 or 6 years ago, but now the balls seem to be the same. Goalkeeping now for me is not really well trained nowadays, because they all focus on playing football, but they're lacking some other strength, like dominating the area, sweeping, and particularly having safe hands on the line.
That's really interesting. So you think that the goalkeepers have been coached to play with their feet and play like outfield players to the detriment of the old-fashioned goalkeeping skills?
I mean, they have to have everything to be a top goalkeeper, but they don't have right now. And their organization or their organizational skills, they're not that predominant as it has been probably before.
It's really interesting stuff from Jens Lehmann here on 5 Live as we watch Germany spray the ball around in midfield. Khedira out to the near touchline and Hovedus, and back into Sami Khedira once again. Boateng picks it up and turns and rolls it all the way back to Manuel Neuer, who's 10 yards outside his penalty area, which is sort of his natural habitat. Plays like the sweeper. There's that famous quote that Manuel Neuer is the best sweeper Germany have had since Beckenbauer. Here is Mustafi, midway inside his own half, and again he turns, and it's like he's got an outfield teammate as he just gives it to Neuer. Neuer onto Boateng, back into Neuer once again. Ukraine happy for Germany just pass it around there and not really putting much pressure on them at the moment. Here is Hector on the left hand side. Germany up to the halfway line and over it now, and the ball is passed by Draxler, helped on now by Khedira here. Little charge down the right-hand side. Looks to play a 1-2 with Hovedus. Back in from Khedira to Hovedus. Now this is Mesut Ozil. Lovely little shimmy there. Pretended to go one way. That fooled Kovalenko. Germany passing it around with real comfort now as the ball is passed by Toni Kroos to the far side. Hector with Draxler as well. Crossing position for Draxler. Takes 1-2 touches. Turns. Needs some support behind him. It's provided by Kroos, who hits it, and it was just too high. Goalkeeper wasn't to know, and he dived towards the right top hand corner, but it's gone out for a goal kick.
Very good shot by Kroos. He has unbelievable feet and an unbelievable technique of scoring. Unfortunately, he's missed that one. Really close. But you saw before that Hector is not capable to go past a Ukrainian defender, and that is predictable now because the German strikers don't really expect crosses from the flanks anymore.
Toni Kroos on the ball again. Recently became the first German to win the Champions League with 2 different clubs. And here is Götze, and he's into the penalty area, and he tries to go through the last defender, Cacciarini, but his touch was too heavy, and it ran through along the ground and easily picked up by Pyatov, the Ukraine goalkeeper, who bowls it out over arm to the left-hand side to Konop Lyanka. And here is Kovalenko, the left-back, and eventually Rakitsky puts a big old-fashioned left boot in it and clears over the halfway line, where acrobatically Jerome Boateng stretches and tries to clear it away. It's picked up briefly by Konop Lyanka, but he won't keep it in play. Oh, the referee has said it will be a throw into Ukraine, and that's caused a few cheers from the German supporters and from the players as well. Thomas Muller not happy with that decision.
He's never happy. It doesn't go in his favour. But that makes him so special. He's a winning attitude like no other, and he's very valuable for the team.
Thomas Muller playing against Ukraine tonight. He scored twice against the Ukrainian side Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League last season. Here is Khedira. Oh, that was an important stretch there to make sure Kovalenko didn't get possession. Kovalenko's picked up a knock in that. And Toni Kroos is going to put the ball out of play so that some treatment can come on for Kovalenko.
He seems to be happy to do that, to give him some rest.
So that's for Kroos, not for the injured player.
That's for Kroos,
right, okay.
that's for himself.
I'm liking this insight into the German mentality you're giving us here tonight, Jens. This is very informative. We're seeing what makes the German footballers tick.
I don't know how many games Toni Kroos played, but I can say he played a lot of games on a very high level. So it's difficult for him to go through a whole tournament in the form he had for Real Madrid, winning the Champions League.
Yeah, all the way through the tournament, having previously won that competition in Germany, and now he's won it in Spain.
Here you see the German approach. They try to take the coincidence out of the game by playing Manuel Neuer as a sweeper, like we had it before. The central defenders going wide, and the left and right back, they're going forward, high up. And so we always have a possession and advantage on the field with playing the goalkeeper as a sweeper.
And here is Manuel Neuer passing from his right foot to his left and then clears it over the halfway line. Jogi Löw says he would play Neuer in midfield. He's that good on the ball. Here's the ball through the centre, looking for Mario Götze, and the last defender back there is Fedetsky, and he's able to just one touch out of the penalty area and the second touch to clear it away. Mustafi with a powerful header back into the Ukrainian half, but that is going to go out of play away to our right hand side. So earlier on today, Croatia beat Turkey by 1-0. And Northern Ireland were beaten by Poland. That's in this group. Northern Ireland, who've still got to play the two teams we're watching here, Ukraine and Germany. But they lost earlier on today by 1-0. Germany leading by 1-0 against Ukraine here in Lille.
I don't see Jogi Löw coming out of his coaching zone. He's not really at the sideline to probably make some corrections.
If you were wearing that T-shirt, I don't think you'd be going out either, to be quite honest, yes.
Seems to be a little bit tight.
Here is Mesut Ozil down the right-hand side for Germany. Oh, great vision to spot Kroos on the edge of the area. His shot took a deflection, but the goalkeeper was able to take 2 steps backwards and make the save. Mesut Ozil, who just seems to have this radar. He can pick out space. He finds the player in the best position, and all in the blink of an eye. As Payetov launches it straight down the field. It's almost into the German penalty area. Boateng is there to clear the ball away. Ukraine need to roll up their sleeves and start playing a little bit more like they did at the end of the first half, when they very nearly scored. Here is Konoplyanka to the left-hand side. Kovalenko back into his own half. Rakitsky, and in lots of space away to the right, Kacheridi, who will now come over the halfway line once again back into German territory, wearing the almost salmon pink coloured boots. Leaves the ball off to Sidorchuk with that wonderful triple nutmeg in the first half, and that's going to be a free kick. It's about 15 yards outside the penalty area. Free kick to Ukraine. This could be a dangerous position. Jens Lehmann.
There's a defensive German approach now, which I haven't seen before. Khedira is quite near to his own defenders, and that shows you that probably Boateng and Mustafi are not really comfortable with themselves. Normally Khedira plays a little bit higher up, and the way he's playing so deep, he can't put pressure on the Ukrainians when they're attacking. Now we'll see how long that will go on in the game.
I've just seen the replay. Sidorchuk's done another nutmeg. He nutmegged Mustafi. Now, here's the set piece, 10 yards outside the penalty area. German defenders lined up on the line, on the chalk of the box. Neuer is right back on his goal line, and there's 18 yards between him and the defenders. As the shot comes in, Neuer makes the save at his near post. Diving down to the left-hand side, it was the central defender, Rakitsky, who struck it. Good free kick, really good save.
Yes, but it was too far out. Normally from that distance you can't beat a guy like Neuer with a 5 foot or 6 foot, I don't know the feet. He's 192 tall, and so
here comes another cross for Ukraine towards the back post where Feditsky was there, couldn't pick out a teammate though, and Germany clear it away. For once Ukraine have sent a lot of players forward here. Now they could be cut out. Mesut Ozil on the counter-attack. Ukraine have been so conservative, but now caught with players up the pitch. Götze tries to come forward. Tell you what, those Ukraine defenders got back quickly, immediately to surround Mario Götze, and possession safely back to the goalkeeper Payetov.
The transitional game of both teams now is not really good, and for some reason I have a suspicion that physically, I think I have seen better performances from particularly the German team.
Well, this is interesting. I mean, normally the preparation is perfect. Maybe is this a victim of their own success, that so many players who've been involved to the latter stages of cup competitions, both domestically and in Europe, so many players who've had a lot to play for right to the end of the campaign?
Yeah, it seems to be hard for them now to perform on another high level, and with all the public pressure on them, it's they don't really look fresh. I hope to be wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice touch from Khedira in midfield. Muller gives it back to Boateng. Germany are leading 1-0 here, but the goal has been quite a long time ago, and there's been half chances for Germany, but they've not been able to grab a second. Here comes Hovedes down the right hand side. Good acceleration. He looked fresh there getting onto that one. Ukraine's defence backing away from him. Khedira comes to lend some support. Now Draxler is way over wide to the left hand side, and Khedira picks him out. Draxler low to Ozil on the edge of the box, tried to send it into a very busy penalty area. He was looking for Mario Götze. It's cleared away back out to Ozil, and now Draxler once again, and this is Kroos, and a nice smart turn by Mesut Ozil. He's on the edge of the penalty area, tried to go around Feditsky, who did well to make the tackle. Ukraine get the ball back and clear it away, and Mustafi puts it out of play. It's a good second half this yet.
Yeah, but the Germans are too predictable now. I hope to see guys coming on like Sané from Schalke. He's a quick young guy, being more dangerous on the flanks. I hope that Jogi Löw will make such a change.
Yeah, plenty of talent available on the benches for both teams, as Boateng allows the ball to bounce there, and Hovedes comes in and just nods it back to the goalkeeper Manuel Neuer.
Hovedes and Hector very good at defending, but going forward they're missing some pace and some dribbling technique to go past the defenders. They never go to crosses, Oh, that was tight. They never got to crosses to threaten the Ukrainians in the center.
That was Zazulya, who slid in as the two German central defenders passed to each other, and had he got a touch at it, he would have been away. That was like Gaza sliding in against Germany at Euro 1996, which the Germans don't go on much about, of course, the last time they won the European Championship.
Yes. Was there a penalty shootout involved?
Well, you don't hear much about it these days. They don't go on about Euro 1996. All in the past. Here is Tony Kroos doing well. Very slick movement there to help it on to Götze. Götze with the thrust into the penalty area, but two defenders up in front of him, so he gives it out to Draxler on the left-hand side. Hector, the fullback, is in the middle like he's a centre forward. This is Draxler. Didn't fancy a big cross with his right boot, so he sends a low pass to Khedira. Ukraine, you have to say, they're defending very well in this sort of situation. This is Muller onto Draxler. He's been kept outside the D of the penalty area. Now Ozil, left-footed, into the box and easily cleared away by Rakicki once again. Ukraine at the moment are holding out Germany, but for how long can that last? This is Draxler, 8 yards outside the penalty area. Now Khedira, bit of space, hits it!
Wow.
Good save again. Payetov diving to his left, and not only did he propel it away from the goal, he propelled it away from danger as well. Throw in. Taken immediately by Germany, who are looking to increase the acceleration here. Sami Khedira, the German fans who for periods tonight have been outmaneuvered by the Ukrainians in terms of the noise in this stadium tonight, but now it's the Germans making the noise and looking for the second goal that might kill this game off. We've played over an hour. There's still plenty of time for Ukraine to get back in this game, but you feel a second goal for Germany might well put it to bed. Here is Draxler on the left-hand side, gives a short ball to Jonas Hector, the Cologne defender, one of the younger members of this squad. Wasn't involved in the World Cup 2 years ago.
It's possession now, and they seem to wait for a Ukrainian mistake, but they're not really dangerous going forward. I haven't seen a clear chance apart from shots on goal from inside the box. We need to do that a little bit better now.
Here is Yarmolenko right back in the right back position, if you know what I mean. A player who's very good at club level with Dynamo Kiev when he can attack, but he's just not been able to attack tonight. And what is going on back there? Kachiridi ran across his own goal inside the 6-yard box and then played a terrible ball to the fullback. It's gone straight out of play. Let's see if Germany capitalise. No, they won't. Hovedis won't keep that in play, and that is a goal kick to Ukraine away to our right-hand side. Just a reminder of what's coming up tomorrow at Euro 2016. 2 p.m. in the UK, kick-off in Toulouse. It's Spain against the Czech Republic. At 5 p.m. at Stade de France in Paris, the Republic of Ireland gets started against Zlatan Ibrahimovic's Sweden. And the nighttime game tomorrow comes from Lyon. It's Belgium against Italy. All three games, full commentary here on 5 Live from the BBC.
Right now we are quite happy that the Ukrainian passing is not that accurate. They always make mistakes when they really could go forward. But it doesn't really happen for them right now.
It's a pass from Kroos that Muller just couldn't control down the right wing. Tried to balance it on the top of his head like a dolphin with a beach ball, but it wouldn't stick. And it goes out for a throw-in to Ukraine and their left-back, Kovalenko. No huge urgency from the team who are 1-0 down. Throws it to Rakicki, and he gives it a good old-fashioned up and under over the halfway line into Germany half, where Mustafi was challenged there by Zalulya. And Germany get it back again with Hector, the left back, and he'll turn and roll the ball to Manuel Neuer.
Sometimes with Ukrainian or Russian mentality you think that 1-0 would be okay for them. They're not going out to win or get a draw out of this game.
Do you think Roy Hodgson thought 1-0 was going to be okay?
In an opening game, a 1-0 is a good result. So that was my tip for that game, for us. So I'm still on a successful road here.
Have you done the predictions for the BBC? Have you done that
I wasn't there.
No, you weren't there for that, right? We'll get you signed up for that.
Yes.
Worth going to the BBC
now.
Sport website and put in your predictions. You can also do your team selections in there. Loads of good content for Euro 2016 on the BBC Sport website. Right, here is Hovedis on the right-hand side. The man who's playing right back, but midway inside the Ukraine half. Rolls it back to Boateng, who, remember, had to clear off the Germany line in the first half. That could have made it 1-1 at the time. Here is Götze, the man who scored the winning goal of the World Cup 2 years ago, coming deep, as Jens Lehmann says. Now, that's a nice 1-2 with Khedira, but then when Götze tried to lay it onto Ozil, it's a poor pass, and Ukraine are able to come away with the ball, but only to the halfway line, where it's won back again by Toni Kroos.
Yes. But I'm sorry, it doesn't look convincing, like we could have played. Or
Here is Khedira, and he steadies himself to hit it, and Kovalenko got close and made the block. It hit the defenders. He's done it again. Sidorchuk has done another nutmeg. Well, I'm sure they'll feature this tonight on BBC Euro 2016 highlights programme. Hang on, here's another chance to the middle. Kovalenko, though the ball is behind him, and it's been put out. I think that's 5 nutmegs he's done.
Well intercepted by the Ukrainian player. Now it's a good cross.
Here comes a cross from the right hand side, and Muller is there to sort of shepherd it out of the penalty area, but Konoplyanka is there to get the ball off him, and Ukraine have it here on the edge of the German box. This is Konoplyanka turning 360 degrees. Khedira with him, 10 yards outside the penalty area now. He's been pushed back a little bit. Here comes the cross, though, too high for Zazulya, and that's going to trickle its way and bounce and dribble and roll and leave the playing surface on the far side, and it's a throw-in to Germany. But I think Sidorchuk has had 5 nutmeg. He's playing the world champions. This is not a computer game.
And every
How is this
nutmeg,
happening?
every nutmeg was successful. Afterwards, he still kept the ball. That's what makes it special.
Right. Yevhen Seleznyov is about to come on for Ukraine. So the first substitute, and he's going to take the place of the man who's been up front plying the trade all on his own, Roman Zazulya. It's a difficult job. You've just got to run and run and run when you're playing up front in a defensively minded team like this, and he's run himself into the ground, and now it's Seleznyov.
It was a big appearance for his team. Great team effort for him. What he put in to just try to pressurize sometimes by himself, and a player like that can only last for 60 minutes.
Right. Here come Ukraine down the right hand side with Yarmolenko, and his attempted cross hits the 5th official off the field of play. It was deflected, and that will be a corner to Ukraine. Seleznyov is definitely taller than the man he's replaced, Zazulya, so maybe more of a threat in the air. As Konoplyanka goes across to place the ball for this quarter.
He will go to Mustafi, definitely, so they have a chance to play a long ball on him. Boateng is very tall and very strong. Mustafi is a little bit smaller.
Ukraine fans on their feet around us as the ball is played in. It was too high for Boateng. Khedira got up well and headed away, but this is Kovalenko back out to the right hand side where Konoplyanka had taken the corner. He tries to send it back in again, and the loose ball here ricochets to Draxler, who helps it on to Götze. Ukraine have pushed a lot of players forward, and Konoplyanka takes one for the team, if you like. It's a professional foul, a push on Götze, and he's going to go into the referee's notebook for that. He knew his team were in danger of being outnumbered. He has taken one for the team.
So Jogi Löw doesn't make any attempts to change his side. I don't know what his tactics are now.
I can't even see any German substitutes warming up. There's a flurry of activity.
No, on the right
there's
side.
A few down there, yeah. But there's
warming up. Surely.
Here is Hovedus on the right hand side. That's a really good cross. Draxler was arriving. He attempted the stooping header, and he just couldn't keep it low. 8 yards out. Did well to get there at all, but wasn't able to keep it down, and it sails over the crossbar. Good cross, though, from the right hand side from Hovedus.
And the position where he crossed from was excellent, because it was nearly inside the box area, and that's what makes it special. If you cross from half positions, it's easy for the defense, because the balls are always coming from in front.
A lot of prominent names on the substitutes bench for Germany. Players like Mario Gomez, Andre Schürrle, of course. Lukas Podolski. Are we going to see much of him, I wonder, in this tournament? Very much the veteran, the elder statesman.
Yes, he had a very good season and became a cup winner in Turkey. But the downside is it was Turkey. So the tempo is not comparable to the top European leagues.
That is the best put down of a nation's football since Jurgen Klopp arrived at Liverpool. He says, well, if we don't win the league in 4 years, the next job will be, I don't know, Switzerland. Yeah. Which I thought was very amusing.
Yeah. Well, he had 2 chances already. I cross my fingers for next year that he will, just in case he plays a final, that he will win it.
Yes, Jurgen Klopp's success in finals continues to be questioned. But he does have a knack of getting teams into that position. Surely a matter of time. Here is Boateng. Rolls the ball back into the penalty area for Manuel Neuer. So, We have got 20 minutes to go, plus the stoppages in Lille. Germany in front, but it's not the sturdiest lead you've ever seen. It's a slender 1-0 lead that they might well need to build on to secure the 3 points.
It's so easy that they could concede a goal after set piece or counter attack now. It's a dangerous result, the way they're playing.
Here is Mario Götze, steps out of the penalty area wide on the left-hand side. Support behind from Hector, and then a good challenge from Cruz, and Ukraine are going to get the ball back here, and this is Konoplyanka trying to break towards the halfway line, and well tackled by Khedira. Khedira's put in a lot of hard work down there. Now Thomas Muller runs towards the edge of the D, lays it off to Draxler. Good turn by Draxler. Ozil tries to send it in low across the penalty area, and it's cut out by Rakitsky, and Ukraine are able to clear it away. That was better from Germany, very menacing.
Yes, they need to try. They need to get behind the Ukrainian lines. Then they become dangerous.
Throw in for Germany, taken by Ozil, helped on by Muller. Götze in the penalty area, gets a few bites at this cherry to try and get it under his control, but eventually Kovalenko is able to come across, and he will clear it away left-footed. Not a good clearance. Straight at Sami Khedira. Right-hand side of midfield as Germany come forward, midway inside the Ukraine half. Excellent ball by Boateng. Oh, Mesut Ozil
He wasn't
able to control it.
Sorry, you're right. Sometimes his body language is not that you expect him to do something special, and just in that moment when if he had a good body language, he could have controlled the ball and played a 1v1 inside the box.
So do you mean that he sort of flattened his heels, that he's not on his toes waiting for the ball to come?
No, he wasn't. Yeah, that was his body language. Probably took a breather and didn't expect this great ball to come.
Less than 20 minutes to go. No time for a breather just yet for the world champions. They are being made to work for this in Lille, and how grateful Germany are now for that early goal that came in the 19th minute for Shokdan Mustafi, the former Everton defender, who's on the ball now on the halfway line. Lays it off short to Khedira, whose prominence in the game is growing in this second half. Ozil helps it on to Götze. Back to Mesut Ozil again now. He's trying to play it in on the far side for the fullback Hector, but the right back for Ukraine was there, Feditsky, and he's able to clear it away once and then a second time. And all he can do is hammer it to the halfway line, where Mustafi will control it very effortlessly. So Germany come again. And the closer we get to the full-time whistle, the more Ukraine will have to gamble here. They might as well lose it 2-0 as 1-0. Got to have a go to try and get an equaliser. Lovely back heel there by Muller. Draxler's into the penalty area here. Returns it to Muller. Almost. Good defending at the end, but it was last gasp defending to put it out by Feditsky for a quarter.
Very dangerous attack now. I hope that out of the corner they take something. They need it. And off the bench just came Sané, the young guy who I expected to come on. I hope he will be put into the game now.
Toni Kroos takes the corner from the left-hand side. Goalkeeper comes completely, misses it, but Rakitsky was there and able to clear it away. Draxler, poor touch to try and control the high ball, and groans from the Germany fans as that goes out of play, and it will be a throw-in to Ukraine. So Germany, it looks like, might be preparing to make a change, but in the meantime Ukraine are going to make another swap, and the man who's going to come on is Zinchenko, Alexander Zinchenko, and he will come on to take the place of the number 9 Kovalenko. So he's taken off the two forward players who, to be fair, have run their socks off.
Yes, the great ability of the German players is that they can keep possession, and without being pressurized or losing their calmness, so they can play that style until the end of the game. That makes me optimistic that we will get a good result out of this game here.
Zinchenko, who's come on, he's only a kid, just his 4th international appearance, very much boy-faced down there, and he's going to try and join the attack with Selesnyov as often as he can. Selesnyov, who's on the ball now. We've hardly mentioned his name since coming on. He's been starved of any sort of service as once again Ukraine lose the ball in midfield. Ozil, lovely ball to Toni Kroos. Now on to Götze. Ukraine's defence being stretched. Maybe some evidence of tired legs. Götze into the penalty area. The backing off him shoots. It was on target but safe. It took a deflection on the way through, and that just took the fizz out of the shot, and Payetov was able to make the save. Jens Lehmann.
Yes, I mean, Götze is always so dangerous inside the box when he can take on sometimes two men in a 1v1 or 2v1. And That's why he's getting the advantage of Mario Gomez, who's absolutely dependent on good deliveries from his midfielders.
Khedira nearly lost the ball there. Ozil did lose the ball. Ukraine attacking down the right hand side with Yarmolenko, and that's excellent defending. Well, Mustafi, that is a commanding moment there, because Yarmolenko looked to be around him in the penalty area. He's got to be careful lunging in because it's in the box. He doesn't want to give away a penalty. Not only does he win the ball, he comes away with it and sets his team in motion. And here they come now, Germany, the world champions. Sami Khedira, space opening up in front of him, lays it off to Mario Götze, into the D, back to Muller, shoots, deflected, saved again out for a corner. Low shot, daisy cutter, and again the sting was somewhat taken out of it, and that made it a little bit easier for Payetov. Germany have a corner on the right hand side.
Yeah, and there was only this corridor where he could have taken the shot. So at the end the Ukrainians defended well, but well done from Müller. He tries to get it low, very difficult to save for a goalkeeper.
Yeah, it hit the heels of the fullback Kovalenko. It could have crept inside the post, and it was a very good save.
Just over the hands.
So Toni Kroos prepares to take the corner. Right hand side for Germany in the white shirts. Here comes the delivery, headed on the edge of the 6-yard box and headed away. Picked up by Jerome Boateng, tries the left-footed shot, charged down by Zinchenko, the young man who's just come on as a substitute. Ozil runs and stretches and keeps the ball in play right up against the touchline on the far side. Gives it back into Jerome Boateng, and Germany back inside their own half, from which Neuer is backpedaling. He was almost up on the halfway line watching his teammates on the attack. The clock continues to tick on. Quarter of an hour to go. Boateng nearly... It's been a few times that's happened now.
Yeah.
Be it Khedira or Boateng. And you sort of feel the longer this game goes on, Ukraine are going to make one of these interceptions.
Yes, of course. And that's what I mean when I talk about freshness. You have to be fresh in your head as well. And keeping that throughout the 90 minutes is very difficult, particularly when you haven't played all the last games in your home club.
Right, well, Germany are going to make a change now, and it's a familiar name to listeners to Premier League football on 5 Live who's coming on. Andre Schürrle in just a moment as Kroos swings a high ball into the penalty area. Controlled on the far side by Julian Draxler. Here is Kroos once again, 15 yards outside the box. A more central location is Khedira. Tries to skip in between 2 Ukraine players and roll it low to the feet of Ozil. It's too congested back there. Now is Ozil onside here? He is, as he canters towards the byline. He's done really well to keep it in play there. I'm sure you can hear the applause in the background, and that's for the effort that Mesut Ozil put in there to keep that ball alive for Germany, who still have it now. Draxler to Khedira. This is Muller, all in a very confined space just outside the Ukraine penalty area. Hector stretches, keeps it alive for Kroos. Now on to Mario Götze. Ukraine are working hard here, but they're not getting a sniff of the ball at the moment. 13 minutes to go. Crossfield ball by Kroos is perfectly onto the instep of Hovedes, but he was almost sitting back and admiring that pass, and he didn't control it, and it goes out for a throw, and Germany can make the change. Jens Lehmann.
Hovedes should have taken this pass a little bit more active going forward, but he was waiting if somebody was coming to help him. That's why he didn't really concentrate on taking and controlling the ball really well. Now we have a crucial substitution. I hope that Schürrle comes on, and Schürrle is a guy who made a difference in the World Cup, the last World Cup, when he gave the delivery to Götze, who finally scored. Schürrle is a very, very good substitute. Comes on and immediately gives you a threat going forward.
So Andre Schürrle, once of Chelsea, comes on. Julian Draxler, who has made way, receiving high fives from every member of the backroom staff and the substitutes, with his job done for the evening. 12 minutes of normal time to go here in Lille. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Opening game of the tournament for the world champions Germany, and at the moment they are extremely grateful to be 1-0 in front. That headed goal from a free kick early in the first half is now looking to be a priceless advantage. Cleared by Neuer, left-footed, out of defence, flicked on by Schürrle for his first touch, and that was good forward thrust from Schürrle to try and follow up and get in the box for a return pass. It didn't come from Götze, but it was the right idea from Schürrle, and here come Ukraine. Now can Ukraine have a final say in all of this? Zinchenko, all he can do is pass backwards to Feditsky. You just feel Ukraine have got to gamble here, take a few risks, just go for it. That's a sloppy pass though. Stepanenko does well to hold on to the ball. Yarmolenko slides on the far side and keeps it in play. Feditsky. Ukraine are having to work in so hard here just to keep the ball in their own half. Never mind get into the Germany half. They are full throttle just trying to pass the ball in their own half.
if they have the possibility to go forward, their last part is always missing because they're not good enough at it. I suggest that they have to practice a little bit on it, passing well under pressure. Because if they could do that, they had the chances to go forward quite often. But fortunately for us, they don't do so far.
That's the voice of former German international Jens Lehmann watching this game of this year on 5 Live as Sidorchuk sends an ambitious Hollywood pass about 70 yards but not towards his intended target. He's the man who, if you've been with us throughout the commentary, who's been pulling off all the nutmegs.
What is a Hollywood pass?
A Hollywood pass is sort of, it's a big budget, spectacular blockbuster with lots of sort of computer generated graphics, and you know, it's really going for the full throttle glory. If it comes off, everyone says that's the greatest pass I've ever seen. They rarely do come off.
Great, learn it.
See, Jens, in that Arsenal team, there weren't many Hollywood passes. It was all just short passes up through the field. Give it to Henry and he'd finish it off for you.
Not too short. I think we had some guys who played always who loved to play chip across the defense.
They did. They enjoyed a chip. Absolutely.
And we were the kings of the chipping.
Ball played forward for Ukraine, but despite the efforts of Zinchenko to run onto it, it carries through to the goalkeeper Manuel Neuer. Some team, that Invincibles team. Did you have a reunion recently? Did I see that a few years ago? Was it like the 10-year reunion of the Invincibles?
Yes. We had a meeting when they showed a movie, and many of the players who took part were quite enthusiastic about it, and it was a great happening. I enjoyed to come back to London and seeing all the players. I mean, I'm the oldest of them, next to Martin Keown. So I was happy that they recognized me.
Right, okay. Well, you look. I tell you what, Jens, you look like you could put on a pair of gloves and get out there and play. You're still looking like you're looking after yourself.
My wife doesn't feed me well. That's why.
Here is Mustafi, the man who has scored the goal for Germany tonight, passing infield to Jerome Boateng. Time running out for Ukraine. We've got 8 minutes plus the change to go. Here is Mario Götze. That's a good first touch on the edge of the penalty area. Into Schürrle. Excellent first touch from him. Shoots but wide. Yeah. Very inventive build-up. Good balance and movement from Schürrle and from Götze. But the shot didn't test the goalkeeper.
No, but you see, Schürrle is a threat. He has a good dribbling. He can take some people. So he makes a difference. And at the end of the day, if somebody dribbles really well, it kills every tactics.
First time Germany and Ukraine have ever met at a major tournament. 1-0 to the reigning world champions so far. Centre half Mustafi with a header in the first half. Ukraine, whose best international success came on German soil back in the World Cup in 2006 when they reached the quarter-finals. That's as far as they've been in a major tournament. And at the moment they're heading for defeat in the opening game unless they can come up with something special here late on now. Here is Zinchenko. He wins a throw-in. We had
to play them in the qualification for the World Cup 2002. It was there were very tight 2 matches, and finally we got through. But it created a great team spirit among ourselves, and we became second in the World Cup then afterwards.
1 minute remains in Lille, where there have been reports of disturbances in the city centre tonight. But so far, very pleased to report it's all been in the spirit of football here inside the stadium and the surrounds of it here on the outskirts of Lille. The trouble that we've been made aware of in the city centre around about the main train station.
Ukrainians try to play with long balls now. I think in the final 10 minutes they try to get their luck out of that approach.
Free kick to Ukraine just inside the Germany half. Reminder, Martin Atkinson, the Premier League referee, is the man in charge here. Oh, that was not a bad effort at all by Yarmolenko, but he just couldn't pick out Selzniov, and Germany clear it away. That's a good touch by Rakicki to keep the ball in play, but Thomas Muller, battle-hardened, doesn't give up the ghost, and even though he wasn't favoured to win the ball there, he does so. And look at this from Muller. Ball over the top to Schürrle. This can seal it, but out comes Pyatov, and that's good defending for the goalkeeper to race bravely out of his penalty area and tackle Andre Schürrle. What about that from Thomas Muller, though, Jens Lehmann?
Fantastic pass, well timed, and I think Schürrle wasn't really going for it because he was scared by the goalkeeper. If he had made it one step more, he should have had it.
Here is Thomas Muller, just outside the Ukraine penalty area on the right-hand side. Ozil to Khedira, back into a central location is Tony Kroos. And now a little bit of room for Ozil here on the edge of the box, helps it on towards Muller. Muller claims he was being fouled there, that his jersey was being tugged. Martin Atkinson waves play on, and then Konoplyanka turns, rolls it back to Pyatov, and that's not a good clearance by the goalkeeper. Giving possession back to Germany. The clock ticks on, less than 6 minutes to go.
Yes, and here you saw the difference between goalkeepers. Manuel Neuer would have taken this ball to the other side, whereas the Ukrainian one, he takes it only with his left foot because he doesn't have a right one, and opens the game up in a very negative way. And Neuer can always change side, and that's why he's playing and is so valuable as a sweeper.
Our commentary tonight on 5 Live also available on BBC Television. If you press the red button, you can watch the pictures and listen to the commentary perfectly in sync. That'll be the case for many of the games on BBC Television during the tournament. Not for all, especially after Wimbledon starts, but for many, and we'll keep you in touch with which ones. But any game that is on BBC Television, you can do that on the website. You can watch the pictures and listen to the commentary in sync on the BBC Sport website or on the Sport app as well. So that could be useful if you're out and about during the tournament and you enjoy listening to the 5 Live commentary and watching the pictures at the same time. Germany in possession, they have the lead. Is 1-0 going to be enough? 5 minutes of normal time to go. Mesut Ozil on the ball, 5 yards inside the Ukraine half. It's almost at a walking pace now. Yes. Ozil to Khedira, back to Boateng.
Yes, the Ukrainians don't even pressurize them anymore. They always have a distance of 3 to 4 yards, which is too much to pressurize the German players. So they have the time and precision to play very dangerous balls up front.
Boateng, midway inside his own half. Sends it over the halfway line, looking for Muller. Muller unable to control it, and Feditsky regains possession. Now Ukraine, have they got a rabbit in the hat? Feditsky sets off over the halfway line, and he's fouled by Götze, and that's going to be a free kick to Ukraine. 10 yards inside the Germany half. It's a long way out, but you've got to gamble here, surely. You've got to send the big men up.
Yeah, but they don't look like if
they
don't.
Want it. They play it short. I mean, isn't that strange?
No, from that position, halfway into the German half, playing backwards.
All the way back to the goalkeeper.
Yes, it's not courageous. They could have delivered it forward into the German box. But the story seems to be the story of their game, that nearly the last pass was successful, but unfortunately for them, nothing happened out of that.
Manchester United fans will be interested in a substitution that's about to be made. Bastian Schweinsteiger is about to come on for Germany. Hasn't started a game for his club since January, but he will come on here for the closing minutes just to shore things up, the wise old head for Germany.
It could be a gamble because it's the first.
Hang on, here's a chance now. Mesut Ozil bursting through the centre into the penalty area, could save. He got the shot away, Ozil, but it was immediately smothered by Pyatov, who was diving out bravely towards him.
Very good run by Ozil. Very good run. Unfortunately, he had it on his right and weaker foot.
Ball over the top, down the other end. Boateng is running back. Ooh. Does Neuer foul the attacker Selesnyov? He has it. It's going to be a corner, but an immediate break down the other end. A long ball. We've said all evening that Germany looked a little bit uncertain sometimes in the heart of defence. Neuer was caught in no man's land, and Boateng has saved them once again. Late drama here in Lille. Has Ukraine on the attack here. Konoplyanka tries to play it into the penalty area. Germany get it away back into the Ukraine half. Just for a moment there, I thought Ukraine were going to equalise.
Yes, of course. It looked like the ball was going in goal. And what I said before, sometimes there's a lack of communication there in the German defence.
Here comes Yarmolenko. Tries to play a 1-2 into the penalty area. Out comes Neuer again, more effectively this time. Slides in, puts it out for a corner. But Manuel Neuer, who, we speak so much about his reputation as being the sweeper, playing outside the penalty area, he was very nearly caught out there. The ball looping up over him, and Boateng was forced to clear it away once again. And what drew my eye at the time was that Selesnyov, the attacker, he was running into the penalty area, and I just wondered, it was a backward header by Mustafi. He thought Neuer was back at his goal line. Neuer came up beside him, and I think that Neuer fouls Selesnyov as the corner comes into the penalty area. Headed away back there by Thomas Muller. Ukraine now have put players up forward in around the edge of the penalty. Whoa, what a touch that is. Now Yarmolenko, and immediately across comes Mustafi, and that is going to be a free kick, a foul on Mustafi, a free kick to Germany, and that will relieve some pressure, and it is pressure Germany are feeling now.
Yes, and you always have to bear in mind that Neuer's game is very, very risky. I can tell. I made a couple of mistakes in that positions, and so it's not an easy going. It's really ambitious.
Now, here's a stat for you. As Bastian Schweinsteiger comes on for Germany, he is the most experienced player at the tournament in terms of games played at the finals of major tournaments. This is his 33rd appearance at a major tournament final, either World Cups or European Championships. This is appearance number 33. That's astonishing.
Yes, I mean, he played since he was 18 all the matches on the highest level. So you can imagine that it's quite hard for him to recover all the time from injuries.
I wonder, is it keeping that record going is why Love has put him on here right at the very end of the game?
Yeah, he wants to give him some match practice.
116th cap for the Manchester United man. Hasn't started a game since Manchester United played Sheffield United, which seems an eternity ago, back in January. Yarmolenko can't keep the ball in play on the far side, and that's a throw into Germany, and we have got 3 seconds of normal time to go, and the fourth official holds up the board to say there will be 3 minutes added on for stoppage time. 3 minutes.
Yeah. Atkins in England, he would have put on 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say
minutes.
that 3 sounds light. So do you think it's just in England that additional time is unnecessarily put on? Yeah,
I don't find it unnecessary. I find it completely correct. If you look at stats, the net game time is 60 minutes. So you even could put on 10 or 20 minutes. But England is special about it. But I like it because the excitement is growing at the end of the game.
Here is Sidorchuk, the man who's impressed us with the nutmegs tonight, but is it Germany who will take the points? 1-0 they lead, stoppage time at the end of this game, which has certainly sparkled in moments, and, you know, make no mistake, Germany have been efficient, they've been professional, they've got the job done, it seems, but, you know, Ukraine have troubled them on occasion. Here is Andrei Schürrle trying to get it around the back of Rakitsky, whose strong defender stands his ground, and they're able to clear it away. But who's up front? Let's see. Selesnyov, that's a good touch to control it. Zinchenko out towards Yarmolenko. There's plenty of defenders back, but let's see what Yarmolenko can do. Hits it, no accuracy. Oh, there was accuracy. It took a deflection. It's a corner to Ukraine in stoppage time, and this is not over yet.
No, but if you look the way the defender is coming forward, you see his body language, you don't expect anything coming out of that corner.
They are lumbering forward. They're not sprinting forward. Let's see. Zinchenko with the corner, headed away at the front post by Andrei Schürrle, collected by Kovalenko. Now it's prodded forward by Rakitsky towards the edge of the penalty area. Now they're going to be cut out. Here come Germany. The ball is played forward for Mesut Ozil. There's only 2 defenders. There's 4 attackers. Ozil crosses. Schweinsteiger! Oh, he's only just come on the pitch on his 116th cap. Bastian Schweinsteiger has scored his 24th international goal. He runs to embrace with his teammates on the touchline. The man who has now played in every single major tournament game for his country since he made his debut all those years ago. He's ran the length of the pitch in celebration. He's now cheering with Manuel Neuer. It's 2-0 to Germany. It's taken a while to seal it, but it's job done.
Yeah, it was really worse that Rehab had to sprint for another 100 yards, and you see it here, how well he has converted that final pass from Ozil. Really well.
Mesut Ozil, brilliant cross.
A drop kick.
And a drop kick, exactly. The ball is just coming back down onto terra firma as Bastian Schweinsteiger, his face full of concentration, glides it into the net. It's almost like a side-footed strike on the half volley. It's a really composed finish, and I don't think you can learn that. You're either born with that talent, because Bastian Schweinsteiger blows a kiss to the crowd, and he has sealed this win for Germany.
I'm angry.
That's the full-time whistle. Jens Lehmann.
He ruined my prediction.
Jens Lehmann predicted 1-0 and is gutted that Schweinsteiger scored. No, he's not. I mean, great story for Schweinsteiger.
Yeah, fantastic.
He's made it here to the tournament despite the injury. He's got his name on the score sheet. And the world champions have laid down a little bit of a marker here. They're saying, right, we've won the last one of these major tournaments. You want to win this one, you're going to have to beat us.
We always like to have a difficult start into tournaments because that keeps you on your feet, and you immediately know what you have to do better. And this team is made for learning processes and to come out better for the next game against the Polish guys.
Yeah, well, great news for our listeners is that Jens Lehmann's going to be doing the next two Germany games with us in the commentary here at Euro 2016. Been a real pleasure doing the game with you tonight, Jens. And the two goals, first of all, from Mustafi, a man who's only made 10 international appearances before tonight, and then the second goal from a bit of a legend, a man at the other end of the career on his 116th appearance for his country. Bastian Schweinsteiger rolled back the years. He ran 100 metres at full pelt and he finished the top corner with aplomb. Great way to finish a really good game. It's all over in Lille. Germany 2, Ukraine 0.